We have a big non-conference game that just got finalized and scheduled. On November 28th, UConn and Illinois will be meeting at MSG. That game is on Black Friday, I believe. So that's going to be a really good one right after Thanksgiving at MSG. A game that'll be a rematch of the 2024 Elite Eight, which was won by the Huskies in Boston. Many people know that game for the infamous 30, I think it was 30-0 run that happened from UConn in that game, and Brad Underwood saying that his best strategy in that game was to keep attacking Donovan Clingan, one of the best shot blockers college basketball has ever seen. It was a really good game, honestly, before that 30-0 run happened. Two elite teams that season. UConn goes on to win the national title in that year, and now they will have a rematch of that game. UConn looking to have a bounce back year after not being so great last year. Illinois also up and down with how their team kind of went. Now we have a rematch of that game. So Dion, I'll throw it to you first for I guess your thoughts on one, this game being scheduled. Do you think there's a reason why this game was scheduled? And then I guess maybe talk a little bit more about the maybe a little bit early matchups in that game.
Well, first off, gonna make it about myself. This was the moment I found out my birthday is on a Sunday. My birthday is 2 days after this game. Could be a special weekend ahead. But I'm I think UConn scheduled this game because UConn knows what they're returning and UConn knows how good they're going to be right away in the season. And their non-con can be a little bit stronger to kind of like boost up once they get into Big East play if they were to have a slip up here or there. Which I don't think they will, by the way. I think this is UConn's way of saying like we're going to go for that first overall seed and we're going to go for that the whole year. But for Illinois, completely new team coming in, minus Big T essentially. And I think they're just trying to challenge themselves. What does Calipari always say when he does like the tough non-con thing? He's like, I just got to see where my team's at.
Yeah, classic coach speak. I just want to see what my team's all about, man. It's not about winning or losing. I just want to really see what these guys are about. Maybe a little adversity hit and see what it looks like.
Yeah. And then when they lose, he's like more proud of it than if they would have won. He's like, yeah, I know exactly what we did wrong. Like practice is going to be tough. And then we find out he canceled practice. But I think this is just Brad Underwood's way of figuring out just how good is this group? How good are they right away? Because obviously once Big Ten plays hits, you don't have time to figure out like how good your team is, what works, what doesn't work against the best teams in the country. So playing mid majors the whole time, or even some of like the lower end Division 1 teams isn't going to work, especially when you're bringing in a group of players that essentially play pro basketball for the most part. Like, how many dudes on this Illinois team have already been playing professionally overseas? I think you need to figure out just how ready you are right away if you're Brad Underwood.
Yeah, look, I always am a big advocate of teams challenging themselves, and it seems that Illinois has a knack for trying to work in like kind of like a big tough non-conference, maybe in like a neutral environment. They had games in MSG the past couple years, didn't go well last year against Duke, surely, but I think it's a good job of challenging themselves, and also like just from an Illinois standpoint, the game being on November 28th also gives it a little bit of time where Illinois has got all these new pieces, right? They got Stojakovic, Mirkovic. They do have returning pieces as well. They got Petro too, coming in, but there are some like new pieces that need to integrate with themselves, and I think this also gives Brad time, Coach Underwood time to get his team in a better rhythm, I think, going into this game. And then they'll be in a better rhythm. Maybe not the finished product, given that it's, November 28th, but I think there'll be a little bit more continuity with the team by then. And then on the flip side of this, because I just said, like, I love that Illinois is playing this game. One, it's just going to be marquee, like Brad Underwood, Dan Hurley, MSG, the day after Thanksgiving. Like, I'm not sure if are there NFL games on Black Friday now? Is that what it is?
The NFL just plays every day at
They
this
just play
point.
every day. They
It's
just play every day.
they just
Yeah,
play every
but like this will be a marquee matchup that a lot of people will be tuned in for. I'll have to see like what other events are happening on November 28th. But this is surely going to be a big matchup. And on the flip side for UConn, I want to commend Dan Hurley for the scheduling because like the past 2 years, I said this in a video where we were talking BYU and UConn because BYU is obviously playing UConn in a non-conference game this year. Um, they just didn't really challenge themselves in the non-conference last season. Like obviously it didn't go the way they wanted to because Maui they went 0-3, but like outside of that, Baylor was one and that was at home. So they're just challenging themselves a little bit more. They have a game versus BYU in the non-con, Arizona. Illinois, Florida, and Texas is on there as well. And that's all within a stretch between like November and December. So, um, I guess do you take this as? I mean, I know a lot of scheduling is done in advance, but is this more so like Dan Hurley feels good about his team? I will play whoever. Like I will, like I'm ready for a big non-conference.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video.
Well, by the way, it's Eagles Bears at 3 Eastern on Black Friday.
Okay, beautiful. So we got nothing to worry about except for Illinois UConn then.
It's a pretty good game.
Oh, but damn, that's a great day for Illinois fans. Then they're going to be going through it because they're literally going to. Most of them are probably Bears fans, so they're going to have the Bears game, and then whenever this game comes on, like that post Thanksgiving day for them will be something.
I really hope it's a good day for Illinois fans because it could also be like these are two tough teams to have to play against the day after Thanksgiving. But I do hope it's a good day for Illinois fans. I think this is Dan Hurley's way of saying like, "Yo, my bad on last year." I think this whole next season is just him being like, "Yeah, I got a little bit, I was feeling myself a little too much last year. I got a little ahead of myself." But best believe I know how to build a championship team. I did it twice back to back, and I'm about to go do it again. And doing it again involves playing some of the best teams in the country. And I think I think he's playing the biggest boomer bust team in the country. And by that, I mean Illinois might be the best team in the country. I think their floor is really high still, don't get me wrong. But this team has more unknown than any other team in the country, right? With a lot of these dudes coming over from Europe and like for the first time playing together. It they could be the most disciplined team in the country. They could behave like a professional team. They could just be a really good college team at the same time, right? And there is a bit of levels to that. And I think challenging yourself against an Illinois if you're Dan Hurley is a chance that not too many coaches would take in this same spot. And I really do think it's his way of saying, like, I get it. I messed up last year. I have a really good team this year. We're with all the smoke, and it doesn't matter who we play.
Yeah, I love it. I love the energy from them on this one, and like I guess we'll talk about it a little bit more once it gets closer. Obviously, like matchup wise, what these teams will look like, but just high overview on paper, it's probably gonna be a top 25 matchup. Illinois is probably gonna be ranked in like the 20s. UConn certified, probably top five team. I'm guessing in the preseason. Things can change one way or the other as far as like the early non-conference games, but I mean, you have Boswell, Petro, Stojakovic, Mirkovic, both of Visic's, whoever starts in that game. Then the other side, you got Silas Demry, you got Solomon Ball who came back as well, Terrace Reed, Ryby, Braylon Mullins, Caravan back. Just like a lot of storylines, a lot of great matchups in this game, which I'm sure we will touch on more once the game gets closer. But salute to Brad, salute to Dan Hurley as well for getting this game scheduled in MSG. That'll surely be a really, really good environment. I feel like Illinois, just speaking off my memory, the last couple years had a mixed bag in MSG. Like they had the games early on, I think 2 years ago, where they had like some classics when they played like Florida Atlantic in there. TSJ went for like 40, it felt like. And last year didn't go so well when Duke and the boys rolled through, but Duke is Duke. But yeah, it'll be a really good matchup. We'll talk about it a little bit more, obviously, once it gets closer. But shout out to both those schools. Shout out to both coaches getting that scheduled. I'm very excited to watch that non-conference matchup.
Shout out MSG Hummer Cows too.
That's crazy that we're ending the video on that, but I guess we will.